We're live!
Oh, as I'm dancing.
We are live, so we're gonna check if you can see us and hear us okay.
Yes.
If
Sorry,
connect,
somebody just posted too. Yes.
if con-
Technical difficulties. As I'm dancing. Oh, goodness.
Oh, was someone waiting to, oh, because we were like 6, 7 minutes late, huh?
Yes.
It's
Sorry, guys.
okay.
We're here.
We're here. We're here with you. Alrighty, so without further ado, I'm a little bit of a mess because I just got back from grocery shopping and picking up the kids, getting ready for tomorrow's birthday party for my son, and Miss Kira over here is going out, so she's all ready and all cute and looking beautiful. So, yeah, now. All right, so we want to thank you. Welcome to day 5 of the 5 days of endless energy. Thank you so much for being here with us every single day. Some of you are literally with us every single day, watching us live and watching the replay, sending us emails and writing comments. So we really, really, really want to know in the comments, if you can write in the comments right now, whether you're watching the live or the replay, what was your aha moment from yesterday? You know, when we talked about lab work, or what was your aha moment from day 3? And what are some takeaways that you have taken so far? So make sure that you put them in the comments. And we want to remind you that yesterday we opened the doors to the Live Anxiety Free 4 to 6 months program. So this is basically a program that will help you live free of anxiety, be free of anxiety, so you can achieve what you want to achieve, whether it is stop worrying about every single little thing, or whether you've settled that you truly cannot live without anxiety, that just the thought of it makes you anxious. We're here to tell you that anxiety does not have to be your friend, because it's not your friend and it's not normal. And we're here to tell you not to settle and actually look into this program to help you achieve that, so you can also achieve freedom from anxiety, so you can achieve independence. If you want to take a trip by yourself, you want to fly or just take a road trip by yourself, you don't have to wait for your spouse or your friend to go with you. You can. If you want to apply to the position that you want to apply at work and you're afraid because you're anxious, you're not prepared for it, you can. So all of those can be achieved in this 4 to 6 months program. Like we said yesterday, we have 2 options. And what it comes with is, and you can definitely check the link in the description of this video, because it has a lot. We're offering you a lot. It comes with a comprehensive stool test that is within the cost, so you don't have to pay extra for it. And why we're choosing the GI map, it's because everything, health and disease, begins in the gut. So anything that's going on in your brain as far as anxiety is literally starting in your gut. So we want to make sure that we target that and we work on it. And once we look at your bacteria and what's going on in it, we can definitely develop a plan for you. So this is basically kind of like a one-on-one coaching, but a very small group and cozy. We're only choosing 5 women. We're only going to take 5 women to participate in the program, because we want to be here for you 24/7. So once you get this tool map, we are going to give you an initial consultation, a meal plan with recipes and shopping lists specifically for your needs. And 1 session is included a month with either one of us. But if you want more, please ask for more. We'll happily give them to you. And also 2 trainings a month, because at the end of the day, we're teachers and education is power, because you cannot, and I learned that from Kira, you cannot unlearn what you learned. So once you learn it, once you know it, look at you from yesterday's lab work. We're getting messages. Can you look at our lab work? You're like starting to get aha moments, like, oh my gosh, I need to order. I need to like not believe everything's fine, you know? So it comes with resources, the best thing is that you have access to us literally anytime you want. You can text us, you can have access to us in a very HIPAA compliant, very confidential portal. We're doing things differently. If you've worked with us before, we've done things where we're emailing you the list and stuff. Now we're putting it all in kind of like a portal, right? Like a course. So they're available to you. You go in at your own time and you have access to it at your own time. So literally just click and enter your information and choose which program you want, whether 4 months or 6 months. But please, 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 we're extending the invitation. If you want to set up a 20-minute consultation with either Kira and myself to discuss if this is the right fit for you, because it's not for everybody. It truly isn't. So make sure that you email us or you write in the comments right now, hey, I want a 20-minute consultation with you to discuss the program and see if it's going to benefit me. And we're going to be very honest with you, because at the end of the day, your health matters, and it matters to us, and it is our mission to help you achieve your goals and to live anxiety free so you can enjoy your family and have joy in your life and not to worry about every single thing. So, here's that. And so we talked yesterday about the lab work, and we're just going to recap. Make sure that you first go get your lab work done, fasting state, first thing in the morning, just like Kira said, so you establish this pattern. And if you take supplements, make sure that you stop them 2 days before. Does this apply to the medication too, or I don't know?
That I usually say talk to your doctor.
Talk to your doctor. There we go. But as far as supplements wise, even if you're just taking one supplement, we definitely recommend, because you don't want to skew the results. If you're taking magnesium, you want to really know what your red blood cell magnesium is. So stop taking them 2 days ahead of time and ask your doctor always, even if they call you and say, hey, everything's fine, girl. You can go on your merry way. You can believe them because, I'm sure they're not lying to you, but always ask for a copy so you can look at it and watch the replay from day 4 so you can look at the numbers that we told you yesterday, because I'm not going to say them all today. I'm respecting your time because you're talking gut. And and then we said make sure that you, what did I say? I forgot.
It's okay.
Okay, because I'm like, I didn't meditate before going on live.
Just don't settle for normal and average and within the reference range.
Exactly.
Start shooting for optimal levels.
Yes. So the reference range, you don't want that. You want to be optimal because you want to thrive. And tonight, drum roll please, gut health.
My favorite. I mean, I love all the topics, but really gut health is near and dear to my heart.
Yes.
And it's near and dear to Denise's heart. So yeah, we have several people live. Denise said it earlier. Any aha moments you've had over the past 5 days, pop them in the comments. I know people joined after we said that. We'd love to hear things that were kind of like, I'm going to work on that, or that's interesting to me, or, anything like that. So first, I want to share a little bit of a story. Like I said, it's very personal to me with gut health, near and dear, but not necessarily in a good way. If you've heard me talk before, or if even you've read my website bio, you know my past history. I grew up having digestive issues pretty much all my life. Eczema as an infant, and then progressed to stomach pain and continued on from there. So then did have some anxiety and depression more so. They go hand in hand, but I had more depression, a little bit of anxiety, late teens, early 20s. I kind of just thought that everybody went through that funk, that stage in life, the teens and the early 20s, your hormones, and you just, life sucks. Truly, I didn't think about it. So then fast forward to my 30s, that part is gone, but I'm still dealing with all these crazy digestive issues, and I'm just starting to understand the significance of poor gut health. I'm reading things, I was just starting to study nutrition, my hormones I knew were a little bit off, I was getting sick all the time, and then I was even starting to think someday I might have a child. I know that everything that's going on in my gut is passed down. And that might be an aha moment for people, because it was for me. Basically, your microbiome is passed down to your children. So that was kind of powerful to me. So I did everything I could to try to clean it up without fully knowing much. At that point, I didn't know anything about functional medicine. I didn't do any testing. I just knew that I still wasn't feeling great, but I was like, I'm just going to try to eat healthier. And I'm on Dr. Axe, and I'm on, all these different websites and reading through books and doing everything I can to clean up my gut. So, do I still have gut issues? I do. Unfortunately, and my child has gut issues. So I've never shared my story. Only a few people on this live stream know the struggles that we've gone through. But he has observable issues, and we've done some functional lab tests, and we know that there are severe gut issues that impact me, and it kills me because I could have prevented that. Not fully, but I could have partly prevented that if I had learned to take control of my health sooner. And I can't fully blame myself. It's not okay to do that. But I know that now, like, 2 people are dealing with the repercussions of everything that I was not doing back then. If I had just continued to push for my health instead of believing every doctor that said, you're fine, it's IBS, take this medication, don't worry about it, it's all in your head, it's depression. And it wasn't. Like, I knew that it wasn't, but I didn't fight for it enough, and I wish that I have, because now when I run a stool test, that GI map that Denise said, I know, like, I see everything that's gone on, and I see it in my son. And so when I say gut health is near and dear to my heart, it really is, because everything starts there. Everything. Sorry. I didn't expect to get emotional.
No, you made me emotional because you made me emotional because we don't think about these things too, because I know that Tav's issues are, more difficult than Avery's, but same thing with me, that I was having all these issues with my headaches and my migraines and I want to call them like temper tantrum, and I haven't talked about them before, but like I'd be at work and I would just if someone said something, I'd immediately snap, and then just and this was, truly, and I would just get anxiety if anything is not happening my way. And it just, I didn't know. Same thing with you. I went to the doctor. Everything's fine. You're completely fine. It is in your head. Because I literally thought I had a brain tumor because I couldn't really think. I couldn't really talk. And I'm having these headaches every single day. And I'm pregnant with this child. She was my second one. I'm so blessed that I was fine with my first, even though I still had the issues, but I was in my mid-20s. So my body was still it's a newer car, pretty much, it kind of can handle some mileage on it. And, but when I was starting to be in my 30s, and same thing, Avery was born and she had, eczema on her scalp. It was, I would look at her and wish, I would look at other babies, and this hurts me. And I would say, why can't my baby has soft cheeks? Because it was all red, bleeding, and she had asthma that we had to take her, and all because of me, of my gut, because I had to have also a C-section. She didn't get any, and all my bacteria messed her up because how can she be born with it? She's brand new. She's a baby. She's developing it later, but no, she's developing it as a baby because of me. And when I found out that, just like you, Kira, when I found out that I am the problem, I took it on myself to get myself healthy. And again, I still have a lot of issues. We ran the GI map on myself, even though I did a stool test a few years ago and it didn't show candida, but I must have, stressed and did something. And now it's showing dysbiosis and candida again. And, I have a lot of things to work on. And I just made it my mission to educate and wake women up. Please, please, please take control of your health. It's not too late, but it's really harder when the moment is now. Just start now.
So let's talk gut health.
Let's talk gut health.
We want to give you a little background first. Denise, I'll let you do this if you're good, unless you want me to talk.
Oh, I am talking. It's my turn.
Okay, good.
This is not scripted, you guys. We have notes, but it's not scripted. Anyway, and I didn't anticipate to get emotional with her.
I know.
Darn it. Because, I see you with Sav and I hear your frustrations, and it just, hurts me that, Anyway, all right. So gut health. Your GI tract is 25 to 30 feet long. I know. Woo.
Really, really long. Ginormous, a big organ.
Ginormous snake. All right, I've seen it. It's like, ooh. It's responsible for digestion and absorption of food. It is a big, big organ, and it makes sense, for that big organ to be the organ of absorbing the food and digesting it. Total sense. It's an entryway for nutrition to fuel every cell in your body. Because if you're not absorbing, it's not going into your cells.
It's not making ATP. You don't have energy. You have anxiety.
You have anxiety. There we go. We're going back to the vicious cycle again. It's also an exit path for toxins and waste. And this is why constipation is not just uncomfortable. Constipation is dangerous. And I honestly did not know this. I mean, I didn't, because I had constipation. I would go to the bathroom literally, and I know I've said this before and people didn't believe me, but you can definitely call my mother and ask her. But I would go only once a week sometimes. And when I would go, I would just sit there for hours until I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna suck it back in and don't, because it was so freaking painful. And I didn't know that was uncomfortable. It was dangerous. I thought, oh, it's just a nuisance. And so constipation sucks, and constipation is no bueno, and it's dangerous because it's keeping your toxins back, oxidative stress, inflammation. We go back. You should know now, because I think we should quiz you. What causes, let us know in the comments, what causes oxidative stress and inflammation. Another thing, around 90% of the serotonin and 50% of the dopamine, basically these are your happy neurotransmitters and happy hormones that keep you calm and loving and joy and all that. They're all produced in the GI tract. One time I asked my client, do you know where the serotonin is mainly made? And she's like, in your brain, or whatever she named it, amygdala or something. And I said, no, it's in your gut. And she's like, really? And I'm like, yep. And I didn't know that either. So we're here to tell you that they're produced in your GI tract. Also known as the enteric nervous system, has over 100 million neurons. Exactly. So it is your second brain. Actually, a friend of mine who's in this group, I'm not going to name her, she told me, and I was really happy, Kira, and I told you about it. She's having a lot of GI issues, and she told me that she went to the doctor and things, and he told her, well, your gut is your second brain. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome for a conventional doctor, Western medicine, to say that was music to my ears. So it's literally your second brain. So when you're having these gut feelings, like that's telling you like, don't do this or do this, they're real because it's a brain. It's right there. And sleep and mood absolutely is affected by gut health, which also are affected by anxiety and as well as energy. Stress has a major impact on gut function because as human beings, we were not supposed to digest our food and absorb it while we're in stress. So when you're stressed out, I mean, you can kind of now watch yourself, because I know when I'm stressed, I literally notice that I'm not digesting my food. I'm having, stomach pains and bloating because it's truly not happening. So you can also watch for it now, or maybe let us know in the comments if you've experienced something like that when you went through a phase of trauma or stress and you notice that your bloating increases or your constipation or your diarrhea, your GI issues. Yeah.
Stress is huge. And Denise and I can speak to that because I think that a huge part of our dysbiosis now, the imbalance of bacteria in our gut, is due to stress. And that's why the mindfulness and the meditation is so important to us, because it's a vicious cycle. And then, like Denise said, it affects so much. You're not meant to digest, and you either find yourself under eating or overeating when you're stressed, or you're going to the bathroom more or you're going to the bathroom less. I bet every single person watching this right now, whether you're live or replay, can absolutely relate to that. For me, I'm the person that stress makes me run to the restroom. Denise, didn't you say you have the opposite problem?
Yeah, no, it makes me constipated.
Yeah. And it makes me have to go like all the time.
Yeah. So
Just
I
like
have to
lack.
up my magnesium
Yep.
when I'm, stressed out, and I take two types so I can actually go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I've actually went through a good 2 years of continuous stress that is just really messed up my bacteria. So
Yeah. Well, and then sleep impacts bowels, but then it makes sense because the serotonin and the dopamine is primarily made in the gut. So days that I don't get good sleep, it's the same type of thing as the stress. I'm running to the restroom. So you're on that loop.
yeah.
So little bit more about the digestive system in general. So nobody seems to think this, but digestion truly starts in the mouth. Like literally, as soon as you smell the food, the process starts because that salivary amylase, like right now, everybody close your eyes and think of something that smells amazing. I don't care what it is. Pizza, fries, kale salad, whatever smells good to you.
Fries.
Saliva is happening because you're envisioning that and you can, like, as soon as you smell it, that starts happening. That's what breaks down your carbohydrates. So that's why that whole eating hygiene is so crucial, because if you're not starting to break down carbohydrates in the mouth, you're putting more work on your digestive system. So mouth is where it all starts, but people just think, no, digestion's happening down here. No, it's not. It's happening up here because you're thinking about it and then you're getting saliva going. Once food's in your stomach, you've got a couple different things going on in there. Protein, that's where your protein digestion happens, is in the stomach. That's also impaired by poor eating hygiene because, again, if you're not chewing things up well, if you're rushed, if you're in that stress state, you're not breaking down the protein into amino acids. If you don't have amino acids, you don't have neurotransmitters. If you don't have neurotransmitters, you don't have energy, you're not getting good sleep. You're on this vicious cycle again. So you need hydrochloric acid in the stomach to break it down. One of the biggest things that impacts that is going to be poor eating hygiene. You're eating too fast, you're eating while you're stressed out, you're guzzling lots of beverages and diluting that stomach acid. You need good, strong stomach acid to break things down. Then we're in your small intestine. Hopefully people are visualizing the digestive system here. Small intestine, that's where you're breaking down fats and carbs and protein. So you don't do it all in just one area, but fats start getting broken down in the small intestine. So you need bile and digestive enzymes. I'm sure we could talk all day about the gallbladder. Is anyone in here going to open up? Let us know if you're missing a gallbladder. And I'm not calling you. You are?
No, I have a gallbladder, but like I have a stone in it.
Okay. No, I was like, wait. Sorry. Got confused. So you need bile from the gallbladder. That's where it stores it. And a lot of people think, oh, I don't need a gallbladder. I have gallbladder issues, gallstones. The doctor told me just to get my gallbladder out. In some cases, it's needed, but it is an organ that's essential for doing something. So a lot of people start having difficulty digesting and absorbing food once they have the gallbladder out because you don't have a storage place for the bile. You also need the digestive enzymes there. Well, guess what? Poor eating hygiene. If you aren't chewing thoroughly, if you're diluting things with water, you're not getting those digestive enzymes to break down the protein, the carbs, and the fat at that point. And then we move into the large intestine. That's your colon, or large intestine and colon, also impacted by eating hygiene. But then low fiber and high sugar diet start having some issues there. And that's what also impacts your bowel function and gets things moving. So a little bit of biology, I guess. So really what we need is balanced, diverse
They got
diet.
your paper and pen. We're quizzing you after that.
Right? And I kept it very brief, guys. Obviously, our anatomy physiology books are a little bit
Where
longer.
does the digestion start? Write them in a comment.
I'm helping them out. So we need this balanced, diverse. You don't want just like a ton of one type. You want an abundance of bacteria, because you said it on one of the days that our bacteria in our gut outnumbers our cells in the body. And that's true. So we need those to help keep our immune system in check. You can have an underactive or an overactive immune system. Mine is underactive. I can actually tell by my secretory IgA on my stool test. Denise's is overactive. And it makes sense. I catch every little thing that comes along. You aren't getting sick very often. So,
But I used to. I used
yeah,
to get sick all the time, at least 3, 4 times a year. Not
yeah,
anymore.
yeah. So you want that balanced bacteria to keep everything, like I said, in check because that's where your immune system is, in the gut. So overgrowth, like Denise, calling you out on this again, because mine wasn't bad. My overgrowth wasn't, but I have no immune system in the gut. Denise has overgrowth. That overgrowth can impair nutrient absorption. So she's not fully absorbing all of her nutrients. This is where I tell clients, you can eat the healthiest diet in the world. But if you aren't digesting and absorbing it, it's doing you no good at all. So part of that is
Taking
keeping
my enzymes yesterday.
good. Yes,
I
taking
took
digestive.
only one pill though, not two, because the two, remember I told you they were giving me bloating. So
Yeah.
I started taking, because I used to take HCl with Pepsin, and I stopped for some reason. So I took two and it was fine. So that means I had enough. I'm okay. And then I took one digestive enzyme.
Good.
No bloating. But guys, okay, I know I have yeast overgrowth and she keeps calling me up on it, but I am taking supplements and I'm not taking sugar, okay? So stop it.
She's eating well. She's eating well.
Carry
But
on.
health truly begins in the gut. One of my favorite quotes was Hippocrates, all disease begins in the gut. But it's so true, and I don't think people think about that. Like, oh, okay, now I know serotonin's there, so my mood is there, my sleep is there. Okay. Also, what was the other thing we were saying? Bacteria. Oh, my immune system's in there. But Hashimoto's. If anybody in here has Hashimoto's, that is often linked to parasites and gut issues. Like very common, like 99% of the time. Fibromyalgia.
And women with Hashimoto's also have anxiety.
Yep. Yes. Fibromyalgia. That usually begins in the gut. There's a huge correlation with small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Chronic fatigue in the gut. Anxiety in the gut. Like truly, if you trace back the root cause of most of these diseases, ones that are classified as diseases, it starts in the gut.
Asthma, eczema,
Yes.
ADHD,
autism, all of it. Pretty much everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So Denise said this HCl with pepsin. Some people don't know it. That's the hydrochloric acid. That's your stomach acid that I said breaks down the protein and amino acids. If you don't have enough of it, that's where you start to get overgrowth of bacteria. You don't want overgrowth. And you start having reactions like maldigested food. That's where food sensitivities come from. So don't have enough good, strong stomach acid. You're not breaking things down. There's the malabsorption, and then you've got overgrowth, and it becomes quite a vicious cycle. So things that control that, like I said, we're eating hygiene, and you can also look in your lab work. We didn't bring this up last night, but you have total protein in your lab work. So any annual lab work, I guarantee your provider is running a protein lab. You can check it out. Ideally, you want it above, I think it's above a 7.
Above 7.
I think it's above 7 that you want it. So that's one area you can look. If your total protein is below 7, that's a sign. It's not always a definitive, but it's a sign that you have suboptimal hydrochloric acid. Another thing you can check is your stool test. You know, if you do a comprehensive stool test, we can see it on there. And then your age, believe it or not, it continues to decrease as you get older. Over 50 decreases, 60 decreases, 70 decreases. I don't remember the percentages. I didn't write it down, but it's pretty significant once you're over the age of like 65 or 70. So if you're at that point, we just kind of anticipate you automatically have lower stomach acid. And then you can even evaluate symptoms. People that say like, gosh, after every meal, I've got bloating or I've got gas or weak fingernails, like brittle ones, osteoporosis. You can look on your lab tests and look for mineral deficiencies, like if your iron's always low, your folate, your B12. And then even if you see food in your stool, like undigested food. And this is where I tell people, start looking at your poop. Seriously, because it tells you a lot. Is it floating? Is it thinking? Is there food? But it tells you a lot if there's food in there. So those are all signs of low stomach acid. So your first step is to work on that eating hygiene, not drinking with meals, chewing until food is applesauce texture. And then, of course, you can do something like apple cider vinegar. That's my favorite way to start, just to see if it helps a little bit, like a shot of apple cider vinegar
With
with
your
a
meal.
little, yeah, in the middle of your meal when you need stomach acid to be the strongest. See if it does any help. And then there's other things like digestive bitters or, like you said, HCl with pepsin, which you can buy over the counter. Just making sure that you're having it with
And
a protein.
they're easy to find. I mean, they're just, and it's just Pepsin with HCl.
Yeah,
HCl.
yeah, so easy. It's everywhere. But yes, you want
And they're safe to experiment with. You want to start small and
like with apple cider vinegar, and then you have the HCl. Yeah,
right.
So you need strong stomach acid. That's a big one, and that's a misconception.
Acid suppressed, like all these Zantac and is it Zantac?
Zantac and Prilosec and proton pump inhibitors. Yeah,
I'm saying Zantac, Xanax. Anywho, so yeah, all of those Tums and acid suppressants, they actually suppress your stomach acid, and
it's not a good thing because it's a common misconception that people with heartburn have too much stomach acid, and that's not the case. It's usually stomach acid that's in the wrong place. Your esophageal sphincter isn't working. That's where magnesium comes in. We could talk about that all day as well, but no, you want good, strong stomach acid, but you want it in your stomach. You don't want it up here.
no.
Yeah. Okay, so this wonderful overgrowth that we were talking about, the overgrowth or dysbiosis, that's what leads to leaky gut. People ask us all the time, I think I have leaky gut. I think I have leaky gut. You might. So that's one thing that leads to leaky gut. So Denise might have it. But then other things that lead to overgrowth. This is what people always ask us. Well, what causes that? Vitamin D deficiency. You want those levels to be pretty good. Antibiotics will absolutely wreak havoc on your body. Just one round can wipe everything out. Stress, as we already talked about, can lead to dysbiosis. Medications, even crucial medications, people don't realize like every medication, I'm not even talking about side effects. Every medication depletes certain nutrients. I even have a book called Drug Muggers. And let me tell you, that is a big book that talks about every medication that's out there and what nutrients it depletes. So that itself, unless you're repleting those nutrients, can lead to overgrowth. And then toxins and chemicals and all that fabulous stuff we talked about on day one. Gluten, if you have a gluten intolerance, can lead to it. Yeah. So, and usually this dysbiosis is a big driver in food sensitivities. So, yeah. Leaky gut, I know people are going to ask me about then. Also known as intestinal permeability in the scientific world, because some doctors still say, oh, leaky gut's not a thing. No, I guess leaky gut's not a thing, but intestinal permeability is. So basically, that's where your intestinal wall is damaged, and it allows partially digested food to get through, as well as bacteria and toxins. So they're leaking through, hence they came up with the term leaky gut. And that, of course, triggers inflammation. So what causes leaky gut? Low vitamin D. Things like ibuprofen and Tylenol. Antibiotics.
I used to take them every day, twice a day.
I know. Yeah. Stress and highly processed foods. So these are all things that a lot of society is doing wrong. Like, I'm not calling anybody out on this, but we're all living in kind of a high stress state. Vitamin D levels, people are afraid to go out in the sun or, whatever. They're on antibiotics. They're taking things for headaches and joint pain and all that. And it's like, well, yeah, a lot of us really do then have leaky gut. So keeping that in mind, you can absolutely help. So I'm going to talk about some helpful things, but just know this is a tricky subject because every person is unique. Denise and I both know that we have some dysbiosis, but it's treated very differently. And we can tell that on our stool test. Like I said, she has high secretory IgA, I have low. That makes a difference. You might have low vitamin D, I might not. I'd have to look at it. We both know that stress is there, but like she has different bacteria that's high while that might be low on mine. So always keep that in mind. There's not just like one protocol out there for leaky gut and one protocol for dysbiosis. Not at all.
Why Googling is not a good idea.
Yeah. So I'll give you some ideas. The first one is eating hygiene. Truly, start simple.
Again, I call you the eating hygiene queen.
It is, yeah. So it's the easiest thing to work on. And then if you suspect low stomach acid, if you look at your labs and you see that the total protein's low, or you're like, you know what, I do have bloating and gas and heartburn after meals, try the apple cider vinegar in the middle of a meal. Try the HCl with Pepsin if you want to go to Sprouts or wherever you can to find it. People ask about probiotics. Are they helpful or not? Yes and no. This is where it gets tricky. In the past, I used to say yes to probiotics for every single person. And then I stopped once I learned about the stool test and like really took these, GI classes, because the problem is you don't know what your bacteria levels look like unless you do a stool test. So if Denise keeps taking bifidobacteria, and that's the only probiotic she's on, but her bifidobacteria is already high, what's happening to the rest of the bacteria? Now she's got overgrowth and the other ones are really struggling. She's not making enough. So she's making the problem worse. Just like if you have yeast, a lot of times those probiotics are just food for the yeast. So I'm not saying to not take a probiotic, but I'm saying that it gets a little bit tricky. You can kind of
You're just saying that you need a GI map. Let's just cut to the chase.
I mean, that's always my favorite. And you can base it on symptoms like, oh, I lean towards constipation, so I might need this. Or I lean towards loose bowels, so I might need this. It's a guess. You might be right with it. So same thing with fermented foods. It's one of those iffy things where, yes, I think it's fantastic. But if you don't know what your bacteria levels look like, or if you've got yeast overgrowth, it might actually be doing more harm. So keep that in mind. If you feel worse with fermented foods or worse with probiotics, and you give it like a solid week of powering through and you still feel bad, don't take them. That's a sign.
Have you heard the expression, one man's food is another man's poison?
Yes. Same thing. That's exactly what it is.
Even healthy food.
Yeah. So maybe you want a probiotic, maybe you don't. Same thing with digestive enzymes. Those are a pretty easy one though. If you're noticing food in your stool again, or kind of similar symptoms to low stomach acid, you could try a digestive enzyme, see if it helps you break things down. If it's mainly like gas after eating, I'm going to call my husband out on that one. He's not watching this, so he won't know. But like when he has dairy, you don't want to be around him. So I'm like, go take your digestive enzymes, and I promise it helps. So that's a potential helpful thing. It'll help you break down your food and absorb it at least. You could cut out inflammatory foods. That's an easy go-to. So we usually tell clients, and then even the doctor I contract with, same thing. Cut out the gluten, cut out the dairy, the sugar, the corn, and the soy. Those 5 things, eliminate them for a period of time.
Vegetable. Today I saw another post. It's a lady who, I think she likes health. She said something about this vegetable corn, and I'm like, no, it's not a vegetable.
Corn's a grain.
It's a grain. It's a grain.
Corn's a grain. Just gonna get it there.
Nothing to do with vegetables. And we're not, being sarcastic, but it's truly not a vegetable.
It's not. I love to shock people with that one though. Sometimes they're like, "What?" I'm like, "No, corn's a grain."
I eat vegetables every day. I eat corn. I feed my kids corn every day. I'm feeding them vegetables. I'm like,
ask my mother. She's on here. What did I ask for every day growing up? I want corn.
I love corn too. I loved it. I used to love it. Corn on the cob, corn, grilled, you name it.
Yeah.
But now I know when I eat corn, like, ooh, pregnant.
Same.
Yeah.
So cut out those inflammatory foods, give it a couple months and see how your body responds. Like again, you can self-help. You can try to work towards healing leaky gut and dysbiosis absolutely by doing some of these things. It's a little bit of a guessing game, but I always say cut out the inflammatory foods then if you don't know. Give it a couple months and see how you do, and then try reintroducing. Monitor your stress, monitor your sleep. Those are both crucial for healing leaky gut and dysbiosis. Denise and I can speak to the stress part. And then eat the rainbow. We talk about this all the time. You cannot heal leaky gut or dysbiosis by eating the same 5 foods over and over. You need 40 or more foods on rotation to truly benefit your microbiome. They need lots of good things to feed off of. So 40 or more foods. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, there's so much more we could go into. Again, we could do just all about the gut for 5 days and still have more to talk about.
Corn and
But I
peas, you
tell people,
said.
when you were in doubt, heal the gut.
When in doubt, heal the gut. So after hearing all this, what we talked about, we would love to see, to hear from you, to read your comments. What was your aha moment today? Something that you just like, oh my gosh, I do this all the time, or seriously. So anything, would love to see it and read it.
My mom said corn and peas, and that's right. Although I was known for scattering my peas around the plate, so I like
ate
corn.
Vegetables. I was just like potatoes and chicken, and whatever. Anywho, so we are nearing the end because Kira has to go. We don't know. Oh, if you really want to know where Kira is, like at 7 o'clock or whatever she's going, make sure you let us know in the comments so we force her to post a picture.
I'll make a post in the group.
Picture.
I'll let you know I'm going.
Go live or something.
My mom might have spoiled it. I'm calling her out on this, but I'm not sure if she's trying to throw me off, so I'm not sure.
I didn't see it. I didn't read it. Oh my gosh. Anyway.
Oh, she said it to me yesterday. I was like, what? We're going where? She goes, I don't know. Like,
yesterday. Okay. Oh, she still doesn't know, but we want to know because we're very nosy.
Yes, I don't know fully. Okay.
So we are not going to be live tomorrow, but Kira's going to be live on Sunday. We're going to be live Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And I know on Tuesday we decided, because the lab work topic was so popular, we kept receiving emails and messages and like people wanting to like get their lab work. So we would love to do a lab work bonus training on Tuesday. And you can definitely bring your lab work. So make sure that you email it to us. I think we're going to pick like 2 people. Is it 2 or more?
We could do 2. We could do more because some of it is very quick for me to talk through and it'll be relevant to others. So basically, if you have lab work, you want us to kind of look it over, just DM us or shoot it to us an email, respond to the email.
But we do want it by Monday so we can kind of look at it and be ready, because we don't want the live stream to take 2 hours. So make sure that you email it to us, and we really, we cannot go over your lab work if you're not live. So we appreciate it if you can be live. If you can't be live, then we can definitely pick another person. So, because it's important that you're with us and you're also, learning and you're sharing your aha moments with us. So. Mm-hmm. And we're definitely going to answer the comments and anything that you put right here as we see them later.
Yep. We'll go back to them. Yep. And then the other sessions, we haven't told people because we don't fully know yet.
Okay.
We might be doing a bonus session on adrenal fatigue. It ties in with energy and it ties in with anxiety. And people had requested that a while back. Mm-hmm. We're not sure yet. We will let you know once we figure everything out this weekend. We'll post in there, like, this is what's happening on this day at this time, because,
But we're definitely giving you bonus trainings up until Wednesday. Yeah. And we are, our 4 to 6 months program, which is the Live Anxiety free 4 to 6 months program. So the program is not free. So I don't know if you need to change the name, but, anywho, the doors are open until Wednesday. So you can still join us until Wednesday. And if you have any questions about it, please let us know. And in case no one tells you today or no one told you today, we want to be the first people to tell you that we love you and we believe in your ability to change your life, to be happier and healthier through the small changes you do every single day. That's why we're here. We're serving you because we know that when you implement daily action steps that you've been learning from us, you will change your life. And for that, my friend, you deserve to change your life. Thank you. Yeah. And have an
So we will go back through comments because I've seen a ton of comments coming through. I have to go feed a husband and a toddler, but we promise we will go back through the comments as we always do.
Yes.
If we don't get to it right away, tag one of us because it might have gotten missed.
Yeah.
DM us if you have other questions. And then I will announce what Sunday's training is going to be because it's still a work in progress.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't do anything on Sunday because
That's fine. It'll be
taking care of boys who are slept over tomorrow. Alrighty.
Right.
Have a
Put your questions below.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye.